Article 400.8.2 addresses electrical equipment installed in concealed spaces, specifically behind suspended or above drop ceilings. It states that such equipment must be listed for above-ceiling use. This means the equipment has been tested and approved for the specific environmental conditions and fire safety requirements present in those spaces. The requirement applies regardless of how the equipment is powered. In the described scenario, a wireless transmitter for computers is plugged into a receptacle below a drop ceiling. The cord runs to the transmitter through a hole in the ceiling tile. Because the transmitter is located in a concealed space above the drop ceiling, Article 400.8.2 applies, and the transmitter generally must be listed for above-ceiling use. The power source location below the ceiling does not negate this requirement. There is, however, an exception. Article 400.8.2 includes an exception for remote control, signaling, and power-limited circuits that do not exceed 120 volts nominal and 50 watts. If the wireless transmitter circuit meets these criteria, it may be installed above the drop ceiling without being specifically listed for that purpose. In this specific case, the transformer output is 5 volts direct current and 2.5 amps. To determine if this falls within the exception, we need to calculate the power in watts. Watts are calculated by multiplying voltage by amperage. Therefore, 5 volts multiplied by 2.5 amps equals 12.5 watts. Since 12.5 watts is less than the 50-watt limit defined in the exception, the transmitter may be installed in the concealed space without the need for an above-ceiling listing, provided it also meets the other conditions. The 3 key conditions that must be met for the exception to apply are: firstly, the transmitter must be used for remote control, signaling, or power-limited circuits. Secondly, the output of the transformer must not exceed 120 volts nominal and 50 watts. Thirdly, the transmitter must be installed in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions. It is important to adhere to the manufacturer's instructions, as this ensures the equipment is used in a way that maintains its safety and performance characteristics. To further explain the significance of the exception, consider the typical environment above a drop ceiling. These spaces are often used as return air plenums, meaning they circulate air for heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems. Because of this, materials used in these spaces must meet specific fire resistance standards. Equipment listed for above-ceiling use has been tested to ensure it does not contribute to the spread of fire or release hazardous substances in the event of a fire. However, low-voltage power-limited circuits by their nature present a lower risk of fire ignition. This is why the NEC allows for the exception, provided the other conditions are met. In summary, the applicability of Article 400.8.2 depends on the specific characteristics of the wireless transmitter circuit. If it operates at or below 120 volts and 50 watts, and is used for remote control, signaling, or power-limited purposes, the above-ceiling listing requirement is waived. Otherwise, the transmitter must be listed for above-ceiling use. Always consult the manufacturer's instructions and local electrical codes for specific requirements in order to ensure safety and compliance. Always prioritize safety by verifying listing information on the equipment and by always de-energizing the circuit when performing maintenance or making changes.